And of course, she's the most beautiful woman to climb Everest so far.
Oh, thank you. Nice
Correct.
to meet you, Praveen.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for letting us in. First question, people ask me also. I am not doing, a very challenging event or journey. But however, you know what? You are from tropics as much as I am. You do not like mountains by your own admission. You do not like cold again by your own admission. Everest is not very easy, not very cheap. I mean, it's very expensive expedition. Then why did you do it? I mean, the big why.
Well, that's a very deep question because I feel that experience was an inner journey for me. I have fears, I have things that I don't like or I don't know about myself. In a way, I wanted to climb to get to know myself better. And that was the initial motivation, because I climbed a mountain that I thought I couldn't climb. But once I was on the summit and I was able to see other mountains around, I thought, should I try them? Am I going to be able to actually climb it? Am I strong enough? So you have many doubts and many questions for yourself.
Correct.
And I thought mountains are a great way to get to know myself better.
Do you still fear anything? Anything at all? Not just climbing, anything that you fear?
I do fear a lot of things, but I got to make fear my friend. And that thing, I think that is what the difference. Because I will always have fears, many fears. Fear of dying, fear of losing someone, fear of, not being able to do a new challenge.
Correct.
But I feel that fear can be our friend, because fear is what makes us still be
Human.
humble
Humble. Okay.
and not take for granted anything. I think that we are able to develop anything we need to achieve our goals.
Correct.
But you need to have two things. Passion, because things can get difficult and you still need to love what you're doing. And then purpose, because purpose will actually give you that boost to go through anything in order to achieve your goal. So I was not a climber. I didn't know how to do, technical stuff in the mountains. I was, sensitive to cold, as you were reading.
Yeah.
But I do think that as humans, we can develop any skill we need to achieve something. So I always tell people, don't set your goals according to what you know right now, but dream big and then do what it takes to develop that person you have to become to achieve that goal.
Correct. So one thing is the physical strength, and the other is the mental strength, right? And you said that mental strength comes by experience. The example you gave of your hand, etc. So once you know that when you have cold in your hand and you rub, you're ready for it mentally. Obviously, the mental strength cannot be divorced from physical strength. Mental strength would come over a period of time, and that mind knows that your body is trained to do what it is doing, and so it's okay. What is your opinion? I mean, people keep saying, oh, it's not about the physical strength, it's only about the mental strength, etc., etc.
I think both are important, because you're going to be mentally strong if you know that your body is capable on doing things.
Exactly.
And you train that, right?
Correct.
But also spiritually, I felt that I had to train as well, because I know that every time you go and try to climb Everest, you can not come back.
10% mortality.
Yeah, every year there are people trying to achieve a dream,
Correct.
and they actually don't make it and they die. And I was climbing Everest when the earthquake in Nepal hit. I was in Camp 2. 19 people died in base camp. The year before, I was
16 Sherpas.
16 Sherpas died. So it was so close and at all times around me. And it is weird to say that when you are surrounded by the possibility of dying, is when I was feeling more present, more alive, more grateful, more blessed. I was like, wow, this is a gift. Every day was a gift. And every step I took, with every breath, like it was so much life in that experience.
So what is the most difficult aspect of ascending, of climbing? So I'll quote you a friend of mine who is a regular person like me and who climbed Everest recently, and I asked him same thing. I asked him the same thing, what was the most difficult aspect of the journey, and he said it was not about the climb, it was not about the cold, it was not about the altitude. These things you already know, you already trained for, but what I didn't train for was isolation. 56 days of isolation was too boring for me, and that was the most difficult part of the journey. So what about you? What was the most difficult part of the journey?
Being the only woman in the expedition, and then trying to be someone reliable to my team, because they were all, super athletes from Argentina, Canada, US, and they were thinking, what if she doesn't make it? She's not someone that is adding to the team, but maybe we're gonna have to help her. So for me, it was very difficult to be there with this team that I didn't know anybody, and I was still being seen as the weak link, You know
what? So most climbers, not talking about you, but generally I'm saying, stereotyping them, are very focused, right? Annoyingly serious. I mean, are there times where actually you let your hair down and seek humor while you're climbing or while you're practicing, or it's just serious work, man, and nothing else but work? So tell us some funny anecdote which happened during the climb, not during the practice. Of course, during the practice you are easy, but during the ascent where your only focus is go on this summit and nothing but that. Well,
I don't know if as a female you have to learn how to pee standing up.
You actually did that?
Yeah, you have to learn how to do that. So, you use a plastic thing with a
nozzle,
straw. I don't know how to really explain that, but anyway, you have to be standing up. You cannot take your clothes out because it's very cold.
Correct.
So I was in the rope climbing with all my teammates with me, like some before me, some others like behind me, and I was like, okay, stop, guys. Sorry, I need to pee. So we're like, okay, we'll wait for you. Like, nobody can go anywhere, so you have like no much privacy, right?
Correct.
So I was like, okay, so I put my backpack down and I took this thing, right, with the straw, like, okay, I'm gonna pee. So I started peeing, but then the wind like started to blow my pee, like, and my teammates were like, oh my God, Andrea. So I sometimes say this is one of the things that guys will not have a problem with, because they will know that wind is a factor that they need to consider while peeing. But for me, it was the first time, so this is...
Andrea, we have been in this continent, Central America, for about 8 days or maybe 10 days now. We've been driving from Mexico and then to Belize and then to Guatemala. And these countries look as organic as India, look as culturally diverse as the India, rich in heritage, similar. You went to India to search your soul. I would rather come here to search my soul. Why did you go to India to search your soul?
Well, talking about getting out of your comfort zone, I think we learn more when you are in a place that you don't know anybody, that you don't know how people look at you, who you are in that other country. India taught me a lot, and it was an amazing backpacking experience for 8 months.
8
I started
months?
in the south, yes. And then north, I travel a lot around India. And I feel that India made me very strong. You know, because it is difficult to travel in India. It is difficult to understand how to operate within society.
Right? It's like boot camp.
Yes, boot camp. After India, like I can climb Everest.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
right. You said that if you want to achieve something and if you put yourself into it, you will achieve it. And anything that you desire is achievable. This is what you said on your TED Talk. So that's one myth which you busted, right? Is there any other myth which you busted while you were doing the ascent or even while training for that matter?
Yeah, I think also the fact that I was a woman, I thought it was very cool that I could try Everest, but when I came back home and told the story and the idea, people were not laughing about, but just saying, why are you doing this? And this is not for women. You know, there are men climbing and they are very strong, but you don't look strong. So I definitely had to overcome the myth of what women can or not do. And I feel that I climbed Everest because it was a personal goal, but my identity is not mountain climber, full stop. Because I am very curious about many other things. So for me, it was like, I happen to love the mountains right now. Am I able to get to the highest peak? Yes. But now I am in a different moment. I open up my own company and this is my new peak. And now then last year I got married and now I have a baby and that is also an Everest. You know, so I just want to try to do my best to become, you know, very good at whatever I'm doing. So I'm not a freak on one thing. And I, as I say, many people know me because I'm a climber, but I think that's very limited. I just had a dream and I achieved it. I'm not a climber, actually. Well, should I tell to you or to the camera?
Anyway. Oh, no. This is offensive. Really?
Third date? No.
This is offensive. Should I look at you or the camera? Because I'm not young. Fine, go ahead.
No. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that much of the future of the world depends on you. And if you are really aware of this, I think whatever decision you make for yourself, you also consider what the impact is going to be to the world. And it could be as simple as getting to know yourself, becoming a happy, fulfilled person. Feels like, oh, this is whatever, but it's actually a big gift to the world if you're able to get to know yourself. And when you are full, when your glass is full, that's when you can give more. So I will say just find your passion. We all have a passion, but we won't know until we start doing new things. I discovered my passions for mountains when I climbed my very first mountain. Before that, I had no clue. So I hope you start doing a lot of new things, expose yourself, live and think that this life is short. So make the most out of it.
Wow. So the more you explore, you will find your passion.
Yes.
Until you don't explore, you really do not know what where your passion lies. Excellent statement.
It's being grateful. We do have so many blessings and most of the time we take it for granted because they're always there. And sometimes when I stop and I think, oh my God, I have health. I was able to wake up today and my family is complete and I have a purpose. I have a job that I like, I love. I have a house. I have, climbing made me so grateful back then. And now I have to make myself remember What is about to be living only what you have in a backpack. That was the only things that I owned. And I used to camp most of the time. And believe me, just having a bed and a hot shower and food on a table, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? You look like 20 and you sound like Dalai Lama. So be grateful, and that is my celebrating life. I'm very serious on this. Yeah. On that note, thank you so much.
Well,
Andrea.
you know what? I have a husband, and he is the one that makes me laugh and makes life very easygoing because he's about having fun. So that's how we balance each other.